Okay, we are going to go and do another family. This family, though, is one that you recognize, I'm sure, the Three Bears. So we're going to read the Three Bears. I wonder if it's your version. So the Three Bears, and we're going to do it as a story folder book. All right. So I'm going to hold up my little house. All right. So here is our setting. Once upon a time, there were three bears. There was a mama bear, a papa bear, and a baby bear, and they all lived in the forest. Now, one day, the bears went out for a walk to visit a sick friend. And while they were gone, so here's their house, and while they were gone, here's the papa bear, here's the mama bear, and there's the baby bear. So while they were gone, a little girl named Goldilocks was walking in the woods, and suddenly she realized she had lost her way. She walked until she came to a small cottage. Upon entering the house, she saw 3 bowls of porridge. And they were sitting on the table. She was very hungry, so she tasted the porridge in the large bowl. It was too hot, so she tried the porridge in the medium bowl. It was too cold, so she tried the porridge in the small bowl. It was just right, and she ate it all up. Well, then she went over to the 3 chairs. The first one she sat in was the big chair, and it was, too hard. And then she sat in the medium chair. It was too soft, so she sat in the 3rd chair because it seemed just right. But as she sat in it, the chair, it wobbled, rattled, and it fell apart. By now, the little girl was very tired, so she went into the other room with the 3 beds. The first bed, was very hard. The second bed was just too soft. The 3rd bed was just right, and she fell right asleep. Well, meanwhile, the bears came home from their friends and from their walk. And guess what they found? They found empty bowls on the table, or one empty bowl on the table, and they were shaking their heads. What? At the same time, as they were looking at their bowls, Baby Bear noticed that his bowl was the one that was empty. And then they found his chair. His chair was broken into lots of pieces, and he started to cry because he was so upset. Well, the little girl heard the noise, and she came down the stairs. This is kind of hard to do. I usually have a metal thing that I put them on. She came down when she heard all the noise to see what was wrong. And when she saw the bear, she was very surprised and a little frightened. She explained that she was lost and that she was sorry she ate up the porridge and broke the chair. Well, the bears were very kind, and they told Goldilocks she was forgiven. Mama Bear packed Goldilocks a basket of cookies, and Papa Bear and Baby Bear helped her find her way back to the path. Wow, that is not the story that I have heard before. Is it you? Oh my goodness, I like that story. It's very kind and forgiving. Very, very cool. Now I have a question for you. When Goldilocks walked into that house, how did she know how many in their family was in the family that lived in that house? Do you know how many that she had? You knew there were 3 because there were 3 bowls on the table, there were 3 chairs, and there were 3 beds, right? Right. Did you have to count those, or did you just eyeball it? Did you go 1, 2, 3, or you go, that's 3? Did you go 1, 2, 3, or, I know that's 3? If you just said it like I know that, that is called eyeballing. There's a bigger word, but eyeballing is a good one that we use in our class a lot. So, I'm going to hold up some cubes. Can you tell me how many, or do you have to count? Could you eyeball that? Did you know that was 2? Very good job. I bet you did. What about this group? Could you tell me how many was in that group by just eyeballing it? That might be kind of hard to eyeball because that's a larger group. Usually, if it's a larger group, we have to count it. But if it's a small group, we don't have to count it. We can just eyeball it. And that is a really good skill. So guess what your homework is? The dice that I gave you, I want you to play a board game with the dice. And every time you roll it, I want you to try and get so that you can eyeball the numbers. You don't have to count. So roll the dice and move that and have fun while you're learning to eyeball those numbers 1 through 6. I hope you have the best time learning that, and I bet you get really good really quickly. Have fun.